Okay guys, so I'm watching all these character builds on YouTube and everything is just super hyped up. This is the most broken build in the game. This character is OP. This is absolutely mind-blowing. You need to have these skills. You're playing the game wrong. All this stuff, it's just, come on, relax man. Let's just play the game. When you watch these videos, they're kind of just flexing for you, right? They're showing you after, I don't know, 40 hours of gameplay, they're showing you all the items they have randomly found, right? I mean, there's no way you can get the same items. They're showing you all the abilities they're using, and it's like 10, 12 abilities. And then they just go through the path tree and point out some of the nodes. And then if they show you some gameplay, it will just be them 40 seconds of gameplay blasting through enemies, destroying everything, and you have absolutely no idea what's going on or how to actually play this character. So this video is about how you actually play and build a character from level 1 to, I don't know, level 10. It will give you a really good idea how to build your character up, what to do, and how to actually play it. This character will be the witch. That is the one I have the most experience with, and it's a super fun class. And I will show you how I build this witch up and how I play with this witch. I will tell you what the different abilities are doing that we will be getting here, and I will also show you how to actually use these abilities in gameplay. I will also tell you exactly why I'm picking this specific gear that I'm picking, right? Why I go for certain stuff. And we will go down the passive skill tree a little. That's not the most important thing. And I will cut out all the boring stuff, so I'm not wasting your time. This is not a let's play. So you're getting this character step by step, what is actually going on and what is needed to actually build this character. And all this should give you a really good idea on how to play this game and this character. And from here on, you will be able to take this character in whichever direction you want to take it in, and you should have a pretty good understanding of what's going on here. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee and some popcorn, and let's begin. So the first thing that happens is that you will get this withered wand, which will give you the chaos bolt level 1. Let's put it on. You can see over here in skills, this will do 5 to 10 chaos damage. The weapon itself won't do any damage. It's a little different from other classes like the monk and the warrior, where the weapons will deal damage and some of the abilities will use that weapon damage as the ability damage. But here the weapon does 0 damage and the ability does all the damage. This ability comes with this weapon, alright? And this chaos bolt, that's a ranged attack. That is one of the reasons why the witch and the sorcerer are good beginner classes, because you can stay at a distance, not take any damage, and just shoot your spells at the enemies. I mean, it's as simple as that. So now we get a scepter. When we equip this, again it does no damage. It only comes with a skill. Let's equip it. And you can see in the skills, we now have the skeletal warrior minions. These will just be summoned automatically. If they die, they will pop up again, I don't know, 20 seconds later. So your skeletons will take all the damage for you, right? And you can just stay in the background, fire off abilities, right? We have another chest. So what this ability does is it shoots out some spikes on the ground in a cone, and the enemies will take damage if they get hit. The cool thing about this is that if you hit a dead enemy with this ability, you will summon some scorpions to fight for you for 12 seconds, which is awesome. So this build we are making here, it won't be like a 100% summoner build. That is what most witch builds on YouTube will show you, how to summon a shit ton of skeletons. We will try and experiment with some of the more interesting abilities here. See, there are some dead bodies. I hit it with this and it will summon some scorpions. We will be building a small scorpion army here. We will try and get as much out of the scorpions as we can. So let's call this a scorpion build. So this is the first boss character. It's important that you learn how to roll. Right, it's super important. Learn the boss's move. And just always keep an eye on the boss, see what he's doing. Here we have a lot of enemies, we can make them into scorpions. So I'm using the lightning right now because it does a little more damage than the bone spikes here. So I mean, it's just when there's a lot of enemies, use the bone spikes. When there's a single enemy that needs a little more damage, use the lightning bolt, or whatever it's called, chaos bolt. We got some loot here. We have a shield we don't need, we have a staff we don't need. We have something we could use, so we will identify this. This will summon level 2 skeletons, which are much better than what we have. And again, the other bonuses on these, on all this gear is not that important. Just find those 2-3 bonuses you really like. If the item has one of these 3 bonuses, take it. Right? Don't compare every bonus on the items, just the most important ones. We will equip this one. We cannot do it until we are level 3. So important thing in the town, you can refill your mana and health potions here. So let's talk with this person here, Una, and we will select disenchant items. All items that we don't need for our character, we will just disenchant. This one we can't, but it's because it's a white item. It's a normal item, so you can't disenchant that. But the other 2 here, we can disenchant, and you don't need to identify it first. That's a waste of scrolls. We disenchant this, we go in, we sell the shield, and then we go to our stash and we put in this shard we got from disenchanting. Just plug it in there. Alright, simple as that. When we have 10 of those shards, it will turn into an item we can use to upgrade our gear, weapon, armor, doesn't matter. It will take it from normal to magic. So we got a passive skill point. Let's go into the passive tree. We can select between spell damage and minion damage, which is good, of course. And there's also the maximum energy shield. We don't have any energy shield right now, so I think we will take this one. Again, you can do what you want in this passive skill tree. If you just want damage, then you of course go the damage route, right? Now you can see down with by my health bar, we have shield 10 out of 10, which means if I get hit by anything, the shield will go down first. When I have no more shield, we will take damage to our life. The good thing about the shield is that it will slowly regenerate if you have not taken a hit for a shorter while. So if you take a hit, you can run away, run around and wait for your shield to get up again. And that's a really good way to stay alive. There are some attacks and abilities from enemies that will just ignore the shield completely and go straight to your life. That is not so good. But most attacks will hit the shield before the life. And you know, in some way I kind of like the shield better than life, because it regens all the time as soon as you're not doing anything. So if you go to the blacksmith here to buy stuff, we can see, if we look at these armors, this armor gives evasion rating, this armor gives armor and energy shield. I will focus on energy shield for this build. I'm not sure if these armors are infecting the dodge roll in the game. Not sure about that. But we will look for armors that have energy shields on them. That will be our main defense. And right now we can't really afford anything here. I mean, we can get this. We can get this helmet thing, twig circlet. Let's buy this one, because it has energy shield and we can afford it. And it's just important to begin with that you get some gear on your body so you don't die. See, now I have 29 energy shield. That's almost three times as much as before. So this skill gem we got will unlock a skill for us. And I mean, we can get more skeleton warriors. We can get skeleton snipers. This unearth we already have. We got that for free. I will get this contagion. I mean, let's try and avoid just making a skeletal build here. So let's take this contagion, which is a super cool ability. We will plug it in here somewhere. I use it on X. So what this contagion is doing, you put it on an enemy and it will take damage over time on this enemy. If there are other enemies around it, it will spread the contagion around to those enemies too, and those will also you know, take damage over time. And every time this disease thing spreads to another enemy, the damage will increase. So the more enemies you can get into a group to spread this contagion, the more damage it will do. I mean, it's not a lot of damage, but it is some. There's ways later on that we can improve this. Another thing about this contagion is if if an enemy dies and it has contagion on him, and if you then resurrect him into a scorpion with the unearth ability, the scorpion will come alive with contagion on it, and this scorpion will spread the contagion onto other enemies, which will then spread onto other enemies. So it can get really powerful. So first thing we want to do is put contagion on an enemy and get the disease spreading, right? There's an enemy there. Our skeletons will take the most hits. Oh, that didn't work. Let's see. See, it spreads and they will take damage over time. I can then resurrect these guys and the scorpions will have this contagion on that it will pass on to the enemies. So you just run around, put some disease on the enemies here. You see, I took a hit, but I didn't lose any life because my energy shield took the hit. See, now I have contagious scorpions, right? And these will just spread, so I don't even have to go and put disease on these creatures anymore, because the scorpions are doing it for me. And since the scorpions are on a time, I need to be quick to the next enemies. So you can see the body down there. These were all infected, but after a short time the infection will kind of leave the dead creatures and you won't get a contagious scorpion from it. So you have a short time when the creature is dead that you have to resurrect it, right? Does that even make any sense? If you don't resurrect it quick enough, the contagion will be gone and you will just get a regular scorpion. Just pick up everything. Go in here, put on what you can. So everything is just getting infected, and I just move on from the one group of monsters to the next before the scorpions lose their infection, right? I just call it infection because contagiousness, I don't know, it's a ridiculous word. So infection. And again, picked up some new stuff like this armor, just put it on, doesn't matter what it is. You don't want to have any empty slots here, so just put on whatever you can find to begin with.
I will feast on your soul. Death grants power.
So I just shoot these bones into the monster cluster here, and to resurrect whatever dies. See, the contagion will spread by itself. Oh, I didn't get the corpse. So now it's lost. I need to put it on again. And again, just start the fight by putting on this infection, just to make sure you have it, to keep it alive. We don't need it to. I have scorpions that will carry on the infection for me, so I don't need to put it on all the time. See, one scorpion and it spreads to everyone. I'm trying to make a build here where I don't need to press a shit ton of buttons to make all this work and cast spells left and right. I kind of want to keep it kind of controlled, and me being the support of the scorpions. That is kind of my goal. I think we need to find that witch before we go into the worm cave. So again, just use this chaos bolt if there's not a lot of enemies. We will replace that later on with something much better. So we got a new skill gem.
Skeletal sniper.
Let's use it. See, I can't use it on these two abilities that I want to use them on, which I don't know why. So I'm kind of forced to get a new one. So let's just get new skeleton warriors and plug it in here. We increase our skeleton count to 1. That's not a lot. We need more spirit to be able to have more skeletons. So now we have that one here. So we have, I guess, 3 skeletons. Yes. Which is better than 2. It's really hard to disagree on that. But I want to try to focus on scorpions for this build. Oh, and remember to resurrect the dead ones before the contagious is gone. So just standing on the edge, casting these bone things to resurrect whatever dies. It's a pretty chill strategy. Doesn't take a lot of effort, and I think it's also fun. So let's look at the gear. We don't have anything particularly useful. We have this belt, identified. It increases mana recovery from flask. So I guess the mana potion is getting mana back faster, I think. Not really sure here. But it gives 17 to life, which is a lot. So let's put this on. That means we can also put a charm in here now, in the build. We don't have any, so. Also this one will let you put another modifier on a magic item. We don't have any magic items right now. Yeah, we have the build. Let's just try that. Use it. It doesn't work because the build has 2 modifiers on it. Maximum life and 8% increased flask charges gained. Those are 2 modifiers. And magic items can only have 2 modifiers on it, as far as I understand. So we can't put any more on it. So in town, we just go to this one, Una. Start by selecting buy and sell, and you can see what you will get for these items here. It's 5 gold, 3 gold. I mean, it's almost nothing, 2 gold. So it's not worth selling. So we will disenchant everything instead. We can't do that because it's all normal. That means we will just sell it.
I will treasure it.
Just sell everything except this one. There we go. And then we put this one into our stash. And when we get enough of these, it will turn into something we can use on our equipment to upgrade our equipment. It's simple as that. So we have a passive skill point right now. Let's go into the passive skill tree and see here. I made a mistake before by giving on the energy shield, because we will be getting a shit ton of energy shield from the gear we will find, because I will focus on putting on gear that have energy shield, so we will get a lot of that in the beginning with the gear. We won't get a lot of spell damage or minion damage from our gear, so it kind of makes sense to put some points into this to begin with. Another thing is, the goal for what I'm trying to do here is to keep the scorpions and the disease and all that alive for as long as possible, right? So we can go up here in the search bar in the top right and type in skill duration, and when we do that we can see everything that has to do with skill duration. So there's some stuff flashing. The nearest one is this one: increase chaos damage, increase skill duration. And the skill effect duration is how long will the scorpions live and how long will our damage over time stay on the enemies, which is super important for what we are doing here. So I need to go in this direction. We have more around here. 15% skill duration. I know we have one up here that gives a shit ton, like 25% increased skill duration. That is a lot. We also have on the side here reduced skill effect duration. Don't grab these ones. I don't know why you want reduce skill effect duration, but it is there if you want it. But it looks to me like we need to go in this direction here. There's some good ones over here. So we will aim for this one to begin with, and then we will go over here to the left. That is the general idea for this build. I mean, so let's just apply spell damage and minion damage. And let's go and find that witch in the snow. There it is. Get some scorpions. Then run in here, put the disease on, and use this lightning, this chaos bolt. That gives focus damage, right? Put disease on, blast her with the bolt. Try and not get hit, most important thing. Put the disease on here when it's lost. Resurrect some of these bodies. Okay, fall back. Put disease on. Blast her with the bolt. Keep your distance. She's stunned. She will drop some good loot. Alright, let's see what we got. Again, it's perfectly fine to run away from a boss if it eats all your life. Makes no sense to stay there. These are all things we don't need. You can use this to get 10% cold resist. Everyone gets this when the witch is dead. See, these boots gives us energy shield, so we will identify it, see if we can use it. It gives us maximum life and intelligence, exactly what we need. This gives armor. This gives us evasion rating. We don't need armor or evasion rating because we are focusing on the energy shield. So now we just need to find the worm. Remember to put on the disease. When there are many enemies, you use the bone spikes here. If there's only a few enemies, you can use the chaos bolt. Remember to resurrect your scorpions. Let's have a look. We have energy shield armor here. Let's identify it. Thorns damage, which means any enemy that attacks you with physical attacks will take damage, I think. Plug it on. So now we have 72 energy shield. It's super laggy right now. I think I will just take a break, come back a little later. Okay, we have good connection again. So we have a new passive skill point. And it didn't remember our search, so let's just search again here. Skill duration. And we need to get up there. So here we go.
What a pretty worm!
So the energy shield is keeping me alive here.
Death and decay!
Need to curse these small ones.
The tail!
Get away. Looks like I'm taking all the damage here. There we go.
The raven always outsmarts the worm.
So when there's a lot of enemies, use this ability, so it also resurrected when they die, and when there's one enemy, use this one, because it hits a little harder.
How useful!
So what did we get? We got room for it all. Got a yellow one. Requires level 5. Energy shield, that is exactly what we need, and it has a socket, which is awesome. So it gives to armor, it gives to energy shield. Good. And then it gives to both armor and energy shield again. Fire damage. I don't know if that works, because I'm not using any weapons, I'm only using skills. So I don't think the fire damage is working at all. 10% increased rarity items, that is good, so that just means we find a little better gear. There's a bigger chance for us to find good gear. And then we gain 2 mana per enemy killed. And we need to be level 5, so we will keep this, of course. This one gives energy shield and evasion rating. Evasion is if an enemy hits you, if you have high evasion, you will not take any damage. The enemy have, is it called accuracy? Enemies have a stat called accuracy that is getting kind of measured against your evasion rating. So if the enemy has super high accuracy and you don't have enough evasion, you will take the hit. It goes the other way around too. Your character also have an accuracy. Accuracy, where do we have that? Evasion. Maybe not. can't find it. But I think your character has an accuracy stat too that will be measured against the enemy's evasion stat to see which one is highest, and the higher one wins, something like that. I mean, I'm not an expert at this at all. I'm actually super casual. So don't go to me for, you know, hardcore details like that. I just don't know it. Let's identify it, maybe we can use it. This is also yellow. Gives energy shield, awesome. Evasion rating, fine. Energy shield, intelligence, cold resistance, lightning resistance. I mean, that's all fine. Then we have a new skill gem.
Monsters that die.
So we can upgrade a current skill to level 2. And I think we should just go with the Unearth. It goes from 4-5 damage to 6-8 damage. I actually think we should go with contagion instead, because a lot more enemies are getting contagious compared to getting hit by the bones. I think so. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's just take contagion, because we will kind of try and focus this build around that. So we also have a charm. Let's identify it. So a charm is something you use. So when I take cold damage from a hit, I use it, I think, and then it will recover 3 mana. I don't know, something like that. So these two we put over here. So these are the ones we are going to use. So we make sure we don't sell them. Let's get back to town. So remember to fill up your potions here at the well. Go to Una. Disenchant what you can. This is unidentified, we might need that one. We don't have any scrolls.
Yes.
And
I like
then
to hold on to bits and
we
pieces.
sell what we don't need.
I like this one.
Which is everything that we can't discharge. We could buy one of these scrolls, and we can identify this one. Increased recovery rate. It's how fast the potion gets filled up, I think. Increased charges gain. I think that's how many times you can use it. I'm not really sure, but it's better than what we have. And then we can sell it.
It's beautiful. I accept.
These two things we got, we will put those in our stash. Like this. And we completed the Devour quest. So we get a support gem. So now it's starting to get interesting. So we got the support gem. Let's open it up. See, you can scroll through your abilities in the top, and you can see the recommended support gems here. A support gem is something you put into your main ability, and it will give you some bonus of some sort. You can click, you can see in the bottom it says show all. You can click on that and it will show you all the support gems available. So it's a little, it can be super confusing because some of them don't really work when you put them on, even though you can select them and put them in a socket on your ability. And you can just be, I mean, some things just doesn't work together even though you can put them in. The last time I played the Witch, when I didn't know better, I bought 2 support gems that would increase the freezing damage and the freezing duration or something like that. And I put those into the skeleton ability, expecting the skeletons to do frost damage, but they didn't do any frost damage at all. So those two gems were completely wasted. So here you kind of need to know what you're doing. Like you can see fire infusion. If you look at the description in the top, it says attack and fire, which means it will work on abilities that has attack and fire tags on them. If we look at the unearth ability here, it doesn't have attack or fire in those tags. It has minion, AoE, physical and duration. So if I bought that other gem and put in here, it won't work. That's how I understand it. So it's very confusing. Open up the support gem. I want the scorpions to last longer. So I select the unearth ability, which makes the scorpions. And then this one, persistence, will have my ability work for 40% longer. And that means the scorpions. So I will buy this one. And it is now socketed into the unearth ability. I could also put the same one. See, I can select it here. I can put it into contagion, which means that the contagion effect will stay for a longer time on the enemies. So the sad thing is I cannot buy another persistence gem. You can only use one. So that's a little sad, but it is what it is. We put it into unearth and the scorpions should last for a longer time. Let's go and see if that is true. Oh, let's go down here. Oh, another thing we can do. Let me show you that right now. Go in, we can run these two bosses again, the worm and the witch in the snow, which is a good idea to do a few times in the beginning because it will usually drop some good items. So you kind of get a little advantage in the beginning by getting good items. So click the waypoint, then you go to the clear fill area, which is where the witch and the worm is. Then you can select it and then you can click the button in the bottom that says instance manager. Hold down the button and I can create a new instance, which means it will reset that whole area and everything will spawn again and we can do another run in that area. That is super useful. See, the worm is right here. Let's go down to the worm. So you can actually farm this boss again and again. They do last for a longer time than before. As a base, it is 12 seconds. 12 plus 40%, I don't know what that is. But it's definitely longer. That just means that we don't have to run as fast to the next group of enemies as we had to before. We have a little more time to run to the next group. Oh Jesus! You see, I'm not a hardcore player. I'm basically just enjoying playing games. I don't play to win or to be the best. Just play because it's fun. Which means not getting... Which means I'm probably not very good at it. That's what I'm trying to say. Is this the worm? It is. Just try not to get hit as much this time. It was a little easier this time. See, we get a lot of blue items. We have no identifier scrolls. Oh, and we can't use this yet. It wasn't mind-blowing, but then we go back to the town and we sell our stuff because we have no more room for anything else. So again, go to Una.
Yes?
Disenchant everything you can without identifying it. We don't need all this. I want to see what the ring does, because we don't have any ring. Boots, energy shield, armor,
Sorry, I was just...
and then sell what you couldn't disenchant.
Oh, I like this one.
And then
Goodbye.
put all your gems in the stash. I mean, it's the same thing we do over and over. This one we needed to sell too, forgot that one.
Hello. I will treasure it.
There we go, we put the ring down here. We could identify it with one scroll. And we should buy a few more. Let's buy 6 scrolls. So see, now we have 0 money. That's not good. Uses on the ring. Level 4 evasion rating. Life regeneration. Fine, I guess. So let's get back here. Don't use the portal. We don't want to end up down in the cave again. Just teleport to Clearfill. Let's get that level number 5 so we can get our gear on. Now we just need to find the witch. The witch in the snow. Oh, she's right here. Just make sure she has the disease on all the time. She will hopefully infect everything around her. Oh, I walked right into it. There we go. What did we get? Armor 25. Evasion, crossbow, nothing useful. Also the flask is also not useful. So, yeah. And I think I want to identify the yellow one, because it might be worth a shit ton of money, or maybe that's something I can use. I can actually, I mean, it's better than this one, but if it's worth a lot of money, I think I'll just prefer to get the money. So back to town. That was one run, right? We got the worm, we got the witch. And you can do this a few times to get some decent gear. Let's see how much the yellow one is worth. 117, that is fine. We will sell it. No problem.
It's beautiful. I accept.
So 18, let's see how much we get if we identify this. We get 18 gold. for the armor. 29, see that's not enough. Because an identifier, a scroll of wisdom cost 25 and we got what, 10 extra, so that's not worth it. Sell it.
It's beautiful.
Let's identify this one, 7 gold. Well, that was more like it. We sell it. So, I mean, sometimes it's worth looking at stuff to see how much you can get from it. And I mean, you need 10 of these shards before they turn into one of these you can actually use. So you need to get a lot of these. But I think if you find an item that is worth a lot of money, I think I would go for the money. Especially in the beginning here where we don't get a lot of money. Another reason that you might want to run these bosses a few times is so that you get your character, you're getting to know your character, right? You know where the attacks are on your controller or keyboard. So you're getting into the habit of playing this character before everything gets too chaotic. I mean, as soon as you get surrounded by enemies, you're just clicking all the buttons, right? But if you have a good, foundation on how your character works, which abilities to use when, you will have a much better chance of survival when you get surrounded and shit hits the fan. So we're heading to Grelwood to continue the journey. And now we need to find a big tree.
Grelwood has turned foul. I think I prefer it this
But
way.
we keep doing the same thing. Put the curse on.
Putrefy.
And then get those scorpions up and running.
Well, well.
So here we have the tree.
That adorns the tree.
So we got a skill point before. And we need to put that into spell and minion damage. What do we have in here? Level 1 skeleton warrior. Let's identify it. 8 intelligence. It's better than what we had. New healing potion. 131 life over 5 seconds. That's a lot better. We take it. Now we can wear this stuff. Gloves. Face. And a charm for the belt. Good stuff. We should be a lot stronger now. So we need to find the exit to the other area. Let's just run with our scorpions here. Oh, that's the exit. And in here we need to find 3
Blood, bones, and rust.
what do you call it?
Death in
Totem
abundance.
poles or something like that. It's not really spreading the infection here. There we go. I don't know how often it spreads. So just revive scorpions all the time. I'm leaving that white item because it's not for my class, and those are pretty big, those staffs. They take up a lot of inventory space, and you don't get a lot of money from it either. The belts you get a lot of money for, so always sell the belts. Why is the infection not really spreading? Just cast those bones into the fray here. See, sometimes I'm casting this spell away from the enemies, but that is so I can hit a cursed body somewhere else. See, now the contagious is spreading. That's really cool. And I don't have to cast it again, because it just keeps going. And I keep reviving as long as I'm using this spell, and I'm also not running out of mana, so that's super awesome. See, I had to revive that one. Just keep reviving scorpions here. It's a fairly chill way to play. Doesn't require a lot. You just need to start the fight with a contagion like this, and then you just try and revive stuff by casting these bones into the horde of enemies. That's basically it. So we gained another level. We just keep going here. Increase spell damage, minion damage. We get the contagion on a few monsters. Make sure it spreads. It's not spreading yet. So now it's spreading. Now we can kill stuff. I mean, it looks awesome. It sounds awesome. I mean, in general, this game is just super badass. There's no way around it. It looks good, sounds good, it plays good. And there's so many possibilities for creating your own character that is different than other characters, right? And I'm doing it a little different here by not just selecting skeletons all the time. Let's get the blue one. And I'm just not running out of mana, I don't know why. It just works. There's a socketed item, we take that too. Can't have it. Alright, then we are left with no other option than to go into town. Okay, what did we pick up? A ring, a lot of mana and life and resistance. That is awesome. Put it on. Crossbow, don't need it. I'm getting problems every time my controller is losing connection. The game just shuts down. But yeah, let's go to Una
Yes.
and disenchant all that we can to get those shards,
Yes. Please.
and then sell the
Take
rest.
your time.
See, 4 golds. Oops, the wrong button.
Another for my collection.
3 golds.
Thank
See,
you.
the belt, 88 gold. So the belts, just sell those for money, because they are apparently belts are worth a lot of money in this world.
I will treasure it.
See, 7 gold. It's 5 gold. It's not impressive. We will get one of these later on. Once we get our main damage ability, we will not be using that chaos bolt on this build. It's just in the beginning. At level 3, when you unlock skill level 3, we can get a new one that will do a lot of damage. That will be our main, and then we can get rid of the staff or the wand. Or it's called a wand. We can get rid of the wand, and we can use the scepter as our main weapon, and then we can put one of these in our offhand. That's the idea. Put the shards in the stash. There we go. And I mean, one might think that selecting a debuff like this contagion to be your main ability is kind of boring, right? Compared to a shit ton of skeletons running around. But I mean, it looks awesome, right? Look at these colors when everything is affected. It looks absolutely fantastic. Just holy shit, there's a ton in here. It's all white stuff. I mean, you could grab some of these white things and then upgrade them with these gems that upgrades your gear and put modifiers on them. But we can play around with that later on. We need to figure out where we're going here. Oh, it's over here. So, get some scorpions before we start this fight. There we go. See how it's spreading. It's beautiful. There we go.
Impudent undead.
We got a quest item. Oh, there's one right here. Let's go. Just roll out of the way, get some space between you and the enemy group. Also so you can see what's going on. Another quest item. And I mean, the scorpions are surviving quite a bit of time, I think, compared to those 12 seconds. It might only be 15 seconds, I think. But I mean, this is the third one. We have a boss. Just don't let them get too close to you. He's not really summoning any minions, so I'm not getting any scorpions. That is not so good. That is why we need to have a powerful single target ability. There we have them. Let's get away. Get some distance. See, the energy shield is taking my damage. That is a good thing. Oh, I lost some there, but... Just roll away when he starts to do something. When he lifts his arms up, just roll. Got him. Great stuff, guys. Quest item, quest item, quest item. We got a scepter. Let's identify it. Discipline, I don't know what that means. Boots, energy shield, 35. Life regen, thorns. Compare. I mean, it's more energy shield, so we just want that. Mana drain, we don't use that. We have a skill gem.
Monsters that die.
Okay, so this is the other skill I'm talking about. This will be our main. This is a damage over time. You put it on an enemy and he will lose a lot of damage over time. The cool thing about this ability is that it spreads together with the contagion, right? So every time an enemy gets contagious, this essence drain will be part of the contagions. Jesus Christ, this this essence drain will be part of the infection, right? It will be, everyone will also be infected with this damage over time, and this damage over time is a lot stronger than the contagion is. See, this is 9 to 16 chaos damage, and the contagion is 2.4 contagion damage, chaos damage, right? And this is 9 to 16, that's a whole lot more. So we are getting this one, putting it in here, where it makes sense for your buttons. So with this setup, I first use the contagion, then I use the essence drain on the same enemy, best case, because when the contagion spreads, this big damage over time will spread with it too, and that is super powerful. Let's see if it works in practice. Okay, we also have a passive skill point. Let's just give it to this big one. And remember, guys, in here we are searching for skill duration. That is the keyword, and we got our first one up here. 15% increased skill duration effect. That means our scorpions will live longer, the contagion will last longer. Also on the dead bodies on the ground, it will be contagious for a longer time, which is super awesome, so we don't miss them and accidentally resurrect normal scorpions. We don't want normal scorpions, we want contagious scorpions. Let's just pick up these, because we're going back to town. Right over here. I mean, there's a lot of going back to town in this game, but to me that's also one of the fun parts. I mean, looking at it in the store inventory is like looking into a big treasure chest, right? That's how I see it. Go to this one, disenchant. We should just be able to disenchant everything because we have already inspected everything and we don't want any of it.
Hello.
And then we sell it. Oh, that was not the sell. This one.
It's
Wrong button.
beautiful. I
Here we
accept.
go. We have another charm. So I have a frost charm here. It gives me cold resistance. This one gives me fire resistance. People think it's a good idea to keep one of each element in your inventory, because if you meet a boss that has a lot of lightning damage on it, then you want to switch to a charm that has lightning resistance, right? So you're not getting killed so easily. But we're not going to do that now, not in these early levels. So just everything you don't need, you want to save, put it in the stash. So I want to have a new one of these. That's someone's high level skeletons. 30% increased spirit. That is super cool because that means I can have more skeletons. It's not super impressive, and this is expensive, I think. But it's level 3 skeletons. That's a big upgrade from our level 1. And we regenerate life and we get more mana. So I think we will get this one.
Someone
Let's
spoke
buy
to
it.
me as well.
Equip it, and we will equip it over here, and let me tell you why. We don't need this chaos bolt anymore, so we get rid of that. The new ability we just got that will spread with the contagion, that's a big damage over time ability, and I will be using that as my main spam weapon for single target. And now we can get one of these on the offhand that gives us more mana and mana regen. We will disenchant it. Disenchant and sell.
Oh, I like this. Goodbye.
Put the shard in the stash, and let's get back into that tree. Need to find that tree. That's over here in the Grelwood. We just cleared this area for those 3 totems. So here's the tree.
What happened here? Stab the spikes in.
Talk. Fine. We need to activate these 3 rune symbols.
Now the other.
Now we get this dude down from the tree. It's the hooded one. They call him the hooded one. Now we need to find this place, the Grim Tangle, and the entrance to that is inside here where we already are. You see the map has reset. I think it's every 15 minutes the maps are resetting, so everything is new every time. Let's see the damage over time. See how fast it goes down. That is nuts. Let's just get rid of these scorpions so we can see what is happening with the new damage over time. Oh, there's a boss down here. Alright, let's just go. Contagious, then the new one, and then you just spam the new one. I mean, it's super strong.
It's a pity to end you, monstrous weed.
I don't know, I had no skeletons.
A gift from
That was pretty easy. What did we get? We can get a skill to level 2. We can get more skeletons. Or we could get a better unearth. It's not a huge damage upgrade compared to a new skeleton. I think it's maybe better to get a new skeleton. since these two abilities is our main abilities, I think it would be good to upgrade those. So 12 seconds. I don't know, the duration doesn't really increase, and I'm not really using it for damage. I'm only using this for resurrection. I mean, let's take new skeletons. Can we increase the amount? Set minion count. Yeah, we can get 2 now, so we have 4. It's not mind-blowing, but we are also not doing a horde build here. Yeah, we need to find the entrance to the next area. It's crazy how fast these enemies are dying now. All the scorpions are carrying around 2 diseases, right? Let's just call them diseases or infections. There we have it. Let's go down. So I'm more or less just trying to maintain my scorpions with disease here. That's kind of the goal of this gameplay. And here we have the boss.
This druid has seen better days. Hooray!
So contagious, and then the main ability here. Get away from the damage. It's fine to run away. It's perfectly fine. I'm not really used to that in these types of games, but here you kind of you have to run away. I got the big rock. Oh, I have no shield. Run away. Get the shield up. Get away from damage. These are super awesome.
In a place he loved, or some such nonsense.
I mean, I'm not really struggling with anything here. I haven't died yet. When you get hit, you just run away till your shield is up again. Then you go back in. Now we have this big hitting damage over time, which does a lot of damage, especially to single enemies like bosses, and it will spread with the contagions. It's super awesome. What is this glove? Nothing. Got a lot of shields. Got a yellow shield here. Maybe we can get a lot of money for that, I don't know. We got a support gem. Okay, so now it gets interesting, because now that we have this one, Essence Drain, that's the name. I need to remember what things are called in this game. Okay, see, now we don't have the support gem I want. So we press on the Xbox controller, it's X, to open up everything. And then I'm looking for this one called Chain. Of course, you need to look through all this, see what fits your playstyle, what you like, what you want, and then make sure that it works. This chain works with projectile and chaining, right? So I need to make sure that my ability can do that. It has projectile, chaos, and duration. So it does have projectile, so it should work. It means that when it hits an enemy, it will chain to another enemy. So I hit 2 enemies with this. It does do 50% less damage, but it hits 2 targets, and sometimes it can be a little difficult to hit the correct target. Maybe it would be better to actually put it on the contagious instead. But I think I will go with this chain for the essence drain, so I can hit more targets, so I easily can get this disease on the contagion too. Right? It doesn't do as much damage as we just saw on the boss, but I think that is fine, as this is an ability. This will be my spam ability. Let's see how it works.
Suffer and die.
It hit 3 enemies. It's actually hitting 3 enemies. I was expecting 2, so that is great. So now we are just testing the ability. See how fast sometimes this contagion spreads super fast. It's awesome. I mean, I'm barely doing anything here. Enemies are just killing themselves. Alright, let's get back to town. The cool thing about this so far, guys, is that I mean, I haven't really put any thought into the gear at all. It's just putting on the best random things I can find. And these armors are not really adding to the playstyle, right? I'm only interested right now in the energy shield, and all my gear has energy shield on it, so my energy shield is pretty high, should be pretty high. 69, that doesn't sound like a lot, but apparently it works.
Sorry, I was just...
Disenchant all this, so maybe we can get something like this now. It also gives energy shield, it gives mana and mana regen. It's not really something I need. I haven't ran out of mana yet. So the core thing with this is this contagion and this essence drain. It just like all these YouTubers say, it melts enemies, it deletes bosses, it's broken, it's OP, it's all of this. These 2 things. That's it. Many enemies are just melting themselves, and then I mean, raising these scorpions are just bonus, right? I don't really need it. It's just bonus, and the skeletons haven't really giving those a thought at all. They're just there, just adding some damage, and I'm not maintaining it. It's not buttons I need to press. And for now, I'm pressing 3 buttons, guys. Starting a fight with contagion, starting a fight with essence drain, and then I'm just spamming the unearth to raise scorpions. When the enemy group is dead, I just rush on to the next group, hoping that the scorpions will maintain their contagiousness. So I mean, in theory, I don't have to use these abilities again once I get the contagion going. It's just the unearth to summon scorpions that will take me to the next fight. It's as simple as that. So the next thing I will be going for when I get a skill point is to get a good area of effect ability, and I will try and get one from the sorceress. Right, she has this lightning orb of Frost Nova. Frost Nova is also super strong, but getting one of the sorceress's skills will be a huge benefit for this character. I need a big AoE effect that I can just put on a big group of enemies and they will just melt. Right, this build is melting enemies, So we need to get back into the tangle again, because this is not a closed dungeon. We need to find the exit so we can get to the next area. I mean, at one point I found a yellow item underneath a boulder, so it does make sense to turn those over. Ah man, this is always the worst about these games. You're running around in these mazes having no idea where you are. These poison explosions are just deleting my minions here. What's going on? That's nuts. We need more time on these scorpions. We need as much time on these abilities as humanly possible. Waypoint. Quest. I mean, even these quests, I'm talking with a dude, it doesn't take that long to talk with this guy, right? In Diablo, I mean, I was super excited about Diablo 4 when it came out, and you have to run behind this dude in the town while he was going around talking with people, and you had to do some prayers in the church, and I mean, what are they talking about? Just give me the damn quest and I'll be on my way. And this game is doing exactly that. It doesn't waste my time. It's absolutely fantastic. Just keep your distance. Toss these bones into to the horde. It can be a little tricky to aim sometimes. It could be because I'm on a controller. Sometimes you just cast the spell in a completely wrong direction. But, I mean, as long as I'm not running out of mana, it's not a big problem. That was a huge chest. What did we have here? Was that a gym? A support gym, level 1. So now it gets interesting. Let me just have a look here. So this is my point before, guys. I'm inside my Essence Drain ability now, and I'm looking at support gyms. There's a gym here called Deep Freeze. It lights up. I can buy it. I can also put it into the gym slot. And it freezes, it increases the freeze duration on enemies. So of course I'm thinking, okay, so this ability will be able to freeze enemies also when I use it. That's what you would think, right? But that's just not the case. This ability needs to do freeze to begin with, and it doesn't. So I'm a little confused why I can still select it when it doesn't work. Maybe you get some gear later on that will put freezing on these specific abilities, and then it would work. I don't know. So I think what makes the most sense here is to use this magnified effect on the contagion, so the area where the contagion will spread will be bigger, so it will hit more enemies around it. I mean, the only thing is that the contagion is already hitting all the enemies in a cluster, so I don't really feel that it is needed. Should we just save it? I think we will just save it till when we get that sorcerer's ability. That would make sense.
I can create better.
Yeah, I don't really need more area effect on the contagion. or the other one, because it's already working as it should. Let's just keep moving here. See, it spreads super well. So I need to find another support gem to put into to this ability. Come on, scorpions. Let's go. I mean, this so far this build is super low effort. See, that corpse will already begin to turn, but I think I have a few seconds more before they turn back to normal corpses. So I'm casting 2 spells, this one and then that one that hits 3 enemies, and then I use these bone thing to get scorpions. It's super simple, and I can stay on the outside here and cast these bones in, and everything is still getting infected. I don't even need to do anything. I do need to raise my scorpions. But let's try not to use the scorpions. Let's see if I mean, guys, I can't say that word. It's impossible for me. Maybe the infection here is enough. Let's try not to raise any scorpions. There are 2 dungeons here that we need to clear. We just ran past one of them like idiots. I mean, it's easy to forget what you're supposed to do in this game, because I mean the combat is so fun. It's so satisfying to look at. It sounds and looks awesome, right? So you just kind of forget what you're supposed to do. You're just looking on all this amazing stuff going on. The enemies were just dying. No scorpions, just disease. I don't want stuff with evasion on. I'm going for energy shield, of course, if there's also evasion on. If both things are on, that is great. It just means that the energy shield will be less compared to if it was an armor that only had energy shield, then the number is usually higher. Let's see what it is. Nothing spectacular. Energy shield 15, 14, let's see, 25, that's an upgrade. Life regen, maximum energy shield. I think that is better than 15. But again, right now I'm not giving the gear that much attention. It's these imposter skeletons keep fooling me. I'm thinking it's mine. Oh, there we got one of those I wanted. It just have energy shield, but as long as we have nothing on, it's better than nothing, right? I hope to find some of these that will give me more energy shield and maybe spirit, so I can have more skeletons. I don't know if spirit can spawn on these things. We'll figure it out.
Death and decay!
That took a fairly long time for 4 skeletons to kill 1 archer without contagious on him. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's see boss fight without scorpions. I mean, the life is draining at a fairly steady pace. What if I spam it? Yeah, it kind of goes twice as fast. What kind of boss fight was that? We got another support gem. Right now I don't know where to spend it. That's not so good. Alright, we are on our way to the skill effectuation. Two levels more and we are there. I mean, 15%, I don't know, is it 1 second? Is it a half a second? I don't know. I don't know how long more these scorpions will live, but
No.
I mean, what about my loot? Skeletons are just pushing me forward. I'm not ready to... Did I miss anything? That's the question. So what about skeletons only? Why did they get infected? Did I have a scorpion? they just die. I mean, maybe it's an OP ability that damage over time, I don't know, but it definitely works. We can give that extra skill point here. Increased chaos damage, that is my disease abilities here. I have 2 of those, so chaos damage is good for this build. And it's honestly a little odd that I'm choosing this type of build, because I really do like skeletons, but I'm playing with my kid, 2-player couch co-op, right? And he's a necromancer here, and he has all the skeletons, so I'm kind of getting that satisfaction with the build he's making, right? So now I have a chance to try and do something different with the usual necromancer character, which is don't go for skeletons. Let's see what other interesting abilities he has, she has. There we go. Go and disenchant all this. There's a rune here that I can put into. I have 2 items with sockets in it, both armor, so this will give me lightning resistance. I don't know, that sounds a little boring to me. Let's just put this in the stash. Let's save these 2 for when we get the next skill gem. But I mean, guys, I have kind of showed you what I wanted to show you with this build. It's just a random build that uses contagion. You know, it uses curses, infection, disease, sickness, whatever you want to call it. I just can't call it contagion because it's a ridiculous word. So, you know, just put these on the enemies, get some scorpions going, and then you just run to the next group of enemies and the next group of enemies, and they will kind of just delete themselves. But I was watching all these build guides on YouTube, and they wasn't really showing you how to play the game. They were just showing you abilities in the menu, and gear in the menu, and passive skills in the menu. And then they show you a short video clip of them killing enemies, and you have no idea what's going on. So hopefully this video have given you some insight in how this game works, especially in the beginning. I mean my max level character is level 12 because I have made new characters over and over again because I wanted to try different things out, and every time I learned something new for the game, I was making a new character and trying these things out, because you gain levels fairly quickly in the beginning, so you can kind of experiment with getting the right skills from the start, having some sort of path in the passive skill tree that you go for. We didn't get into you know, buying equipment from the blacksmith and then improving that equipment to turn it into something you like. But the thing is that you don't get a lot of gold to begin with in this game, and maybe my mistake was to disenchant everything because I wanted upgrade materials for later. I think maybe in the beginning you should just sell all the stuff you find, so you have some money so you can buy new stuff at the blacksmith. I didn't buy anything. I think I only bought one thing in this little video because I don't have a lot of money. 600 gold, that's not a lot. But anyway, guys, I hope you feel more comfortable in playing the game now. You just have to experiment with stuff. I mean, it's as simple as that. Don't use 5 or 6 abilities at once when you start out. You will just stress out, and you will panic, and you will press on everything, all the buttons, and you will run out of mana and you don't know what you're doing. So get a few, 2, 3 cool abilities, get to know them, get it incorporated into your muscle memory, right? And then slowly put on more abilities. But I wouldn't say don't use more than 5 abilities, right? Then it gets super complicated, and then it turns into work, and you get stressed, and then you get depressed, and then you have to lie down on the couch for 6 months before you can do anything else. So take it easy, just enjoy the game, make it simple for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. See you next time.